proceedings for a scientific takeover by the C.O.G.
C.O.G.
Say it with me. C.O.G. C.O.G. Excellent.
C.O.G.
Dr. Pinkerton.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Sit down there, Glitch.
Invading our podcast.
How y'all mama and them doing? How y'all mama and them doing?
Yes, ask the sane questions, Glitch.
How your mom and them? How
I shall
your
handle
mama?
the scientific side of this discussion.
So what has been happening, guys, since the last time we saw you?
Shrunken.
Lots of research. We have been coming up with new tunes. We have been indoctrinating him into the C.O.G.
C.O.G.
See?
Glitch is
Working.
new.
Yes, Glitch is brand new. At least most of him is. There's still a couple of pieces of flesh left in there, but we'll get to those sooner or later.
Nice.
Oh, very cool. So where are you guys coming from now?
Well, of course, we're still abducting bands into the secret lab and
Yes.
grinding them into mincemeat to suit our scientific aims.
Do you keep any of the ones you really liked, even if they didn't win?
You
Put
mean
them in
like
a little
in the
jar.
cryogenic closet?
Yeah.
Sort of frozen. Well,
Right.
their brains are stashed down in there in jars, which we will use later. The flesh is ground up and fed to the plants.
To rebuild the perfect
They
band.
call that cadavers. Cadaverous.
So where did you pick up Mr. Glitch from over here?
Well, he was
Cadavers.
assembled from, cadavers and other pieces that were lying around the bottom basement floor.
Ah, perfect. And he's the guitarist of
Yes,
C.O.G. now?
yes. He is also our six-stringed instrument of destruction wielder. But of course, we still have Filbert Snodgrass. But we're trying to minimize his accidents that he frequently, dumps over things, chemicals, acid, that sort of stuff.
I like Filbert.
Yes, he's been a very naughty boy, but don't worry, we'll discipline him soon enough.
Is this mind control? Does it just work his brain? What's the deal with the hat here?
Well, it's got a feedback circuit in it, much like the feedback between his guitar and his amp. Bad thoughts are amplified. Good thoughts are suppressed.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want any of that goodness creeping in. That really would foul my
saved my
plans.
life. They saved my life.
That's right. He believes that I
But
operated
not
on
that
him.
you assembled him from
I was
pieces.
brain dead.
He was in
I
a
was
really bad
brain
state.
dead before he put this on my head.
And how's that been working for you?
It works, bro.
It keeps the bad thoughts at the surface.
So when did C.O.G. actually start? When did the lab start? Your lab and the music lab.
A fair question. My research started in earnest in 1993 when we set up that vendetta against Barney, the dinosaur, with our initial offering,
you
which was
drink that.
Songs of Violence and Stupidity.
You just drink it. You don't have to eat it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is the top
Hey, there.
We'll
I
actually
don't think
add
we
the
have any
pieces of the
straws.
can to his helmet later.
I was wondering if that was gonna. Seems to be working.
Oh, he
fine.
figured it. He figured it
Keep
out.
trying. You'll get there.
He figured it
So
out. That'll make it.
1993. I saw recordings from around 1996, I think. First.
Yes. Now, that was our first public lecture.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed that all of them were lectures, or that's what everything was on the website.
Indeed. There are many things to be gleaned from a C.O.G. lecture.
All right. What could you expect if you went to a C.O.G. lecture?
Brains, a little bit of blood. Not a whole lot of blood. It's not gore. We're much more surgically precise than that.
It's like a symposium on finite element modeling,
Exactly.
except with
More evil.
more chug.
Yes. There is the metal.
Yes.
And there is the mallet of metal.
Yeah, I heard that song on the way over here. The metal mallet or metal.
The mallet of metal. Yes.
Mallet of metal. Wow,
Jeez.
having trouble over here.
A mouthful, that mallet of metal.
Yeah. So who else is in the group? And
Well-
are they also scientists?
Well, of course, we have our servile rhythmic percussionist Drumbot, who's been with us since time infinitum. He's been with us since 1996, of course. And Dr. Z, who has been with us since 2000.
I wondered if you were going to come here tonight with Dr. Z.
No, Dr. Z is investigating something in the Mideast, or maybe the West Bank.
The best bank.
Very cool. We can apply that, right? No?
Yeah, sure.
I like that, Dr. Z.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Dr.
And of
Z,
course, we've got also Yes, we've got Dr. Winchester. She has been with us only a couple of years, but she's making a lot of strides forward in weaponry and keyboards.
Who's the female singer on
That would be
album?
Dr. Winchester.
Nice.
Yes.
Does Beth Patterson play with you guys still?
Beth has actually been on a lot of our recordings, but never actually in the band.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw, like, whenever I was looking through your lectures, that she started playing with you guys, or in groups around you guys in around 2003.
Yes, Beth is quite an ally, especially Bad Beth.
Bad Beth.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I know.
That's who we met, actually.
That's who I know.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know the singular Beth, but Bad Beth for
Bad
sure.
Beth,
yes.
You think Bad Beth would like to buy a tenor guitar from me?
I don't know.
She
Maybe
she like him 4-string.
I don't know about 10 guitars. Perhaps
Tenor
or
guitar.
one or two.
Tenor.
Let's see.
tenor guitar.
Yeah.
You know,
So, have you had any success actually winning against the bands in your lab on Sundays?
Well, yes. In fact, if you've been watching, you'll notice that we've ground up several bands, including Titus.
I did see that.
Oh, the ground up Titus?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
big time.
we actually smashed them in the emo press.
Oh, nice.
The emo press. We pressed them into almost a singularity.
I think the lab actually had about 400 more points. But
That's right.
The computer was being nice and made it look close.
If you ever seen a band that was one molecule thick, it might have been Titus.
Oh, okay. Who's the next?
Who's the next? The next one that we're going to smash into a singularity will be War Bunnies.
Okay.
This Sunday. War Bunnies. I can't wait.
We've actually played on there twice as our old band in Bad Moonlander, and we won. And I
Of
felt.
course you won. That's why you're here.
Oh, that's
Right.
true. But we
if you
also
were dead, you wouldn't be here
That's
interviewing
it.
me.
Yes.
we won a Nintendo 64 from you guys.
Wow.
That was amazing.
That was legit.
Yeah, it really was. We lost it in the breakup of our band, but same thing.
They got that WCW.
Oh,
game
yeah, you
on
got to have that.
N64 now.
We always played Goldeneye and what was the other one? Actually, we
Mario.
got Goldeneye with
no,
it.
got
you
buried.
didn't play
That-
GoldenEye
that
on
one
the
got
Secret
buried in
Lab.
some
Though. What
media
did you
in
play
it.
on the Secret Lab?
No, did we play Javelin?
No, everybody played these old games. I think Stone played like a Moonlander game or something
There was a
like
Moonlander
that.
game.
Yeah, because of our band.
Yeah,
before.
Lunar Lander.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I can't
like
remember what we
Moon
played
Patrol?
before.
Was there a Javelin one? Was that the other one with the horse?
No, but I felt like the questions were set up just for us because every question you asked, Stone knew the exact amount of astronauts that had been to the moon. I knew how many parishes.
I think it just
were
had
in Louisiana.
just had
the
some
whole
kind of
thing was-
savant moment.
You
Yeah.
real?
Yes, the only things we knew.
Somebody
I'm
left the
impressed that you remember that.
all right, somebody left the brainwave on. We got extra smart out of nowhere.
It's just from being in my proximity.
I mean, yes, yeah,
course.
I can see that. Yes, it's intimidating, but it'll soak in.
yes, the waves of intimidation are probably radiating out right now.
Yes.
I feel smarter already,
Yeah,
but in an evil way.
I don't know the way you were talking earlier.
Did not sound
Did
smart.
not seem that way.
No, but you'll notice that after you leave this facility tonight, you'll have bad thoughts. Thoughts about doing bad things like, I don't know, running red lights or petting cats the wrong way, that sort of thing.
It does sound kind of good now.
No,
Put
evil.
sugar in
Evil.
cornbread and
Oh,
Terrible.
that's
Terrible
too far.
things.
That's too far.
All right. So, how many episodes are you in on the Secret Lab?
We are approaching our 112th episode of Escape.
Very cool.
Did you guys do something big for the 100?
Oh, yes, they tried to put me on trial.
Oh,
That was really not a very fun party, let me tell you. I really didn't like that at all.
well, clearly you beat it.
Well, of course,
So
that
beat
was
the-
Drumbot's idea, and
Oh,
I had to
What a
take his
trickster.
battery out and reset him after that.
You had done a version of COG before that was a steampunk COG, hadn't you?
No, absolutely not. That's my grandfather's idea of music. Horrible crap. Why, that fellow should have been rounded up and smashed in the steam press.
nice.
damn.
Been
Yes.
happy to do that if they had been able to apprehend him.
The impertinence of this young man to ask you such a question.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm
that
sorry.
old codger. If you ever
How
see
dare
him,
you besmirch Dr. Pinkerton?
Well, I'm going to
never
apologize.
associate
for him.
my name
I'm
with the name
apologizing
of my
for him.
grandfather. I am the third. He is the first, and should never be spoken of again.
Oh, okay.
Way to go.
Steam
Way to
power
go. I thought
itself
things
is
were
a
going
terrible
I did some research, and apparently it was bad research.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
We were. Well, I was planning on not getting shot with a ray today, but I don't know after
Yeah,
that.
you- yeah,
You
you guys
want to be,
brought-
just keep up the question
Just keep
line
up that
about
one,
my
yeah.
grandfather.
Okay,
You'll
we'll
receive
not
no
bring him up
sympathy
any
from
longer.
me.
Oh my lord,
I don't
think that measures.
That's not going to do nothing.
that's not. Yeah,
Yeah.
No,
It was intimidating.
The evil
at
is
first,
right
though.
off the scale.
Oh, yeah.
There's
I like
no
that.
way to measure that level of evil.
All right. Do you guys play a lot of the cons that are the Comic Cons, and I also see a lot of pinball kind of stuff involved?
Well, yes, we have a repeating gig at the Houston Arcade Expo, which is every year around October. And yes, we have played a lot of the conventions. Those comic book minded fools have no idea what level of evil they are being indoctrinated with.
Those suckers.
Well, let's see. What else do we have to talk to COG about?
Yes, you better hurry.
I know.
My time is expensive.
That's not good. We don't have a lot of money.
I can sort of tell.
Yeah, right. Is it by our fancy
I
chairs?
don't see a single oscilloscope.
No,
No, we don't have that.
They're very oscilloscope poor around
Yes.
here.
Our tone. We could probably make a tone generator.
I don't see a theremin. What would they
No,
do?
we don't have that
what do
either.
They do?
We don't have any of these things. What are we doing? What are we doing with this podcast?
We're running out of time.
I guess I was wanting to ask before you go.
Wait, how many minutes did you set the bomb to?
Math is
It's 12:06 right now.
What about the slide
My
rule?
concept-
Figure it out.
my
Time
concept of time. I'm like in 3 different places.
Time
right
is
now.
critical, and the bomb will be super
I'm actually
critical.
4 people. I don't know who you're asking. That's a tough question. Maybe it's 4.
4 guitarists, of course, went
Yeah,
into
4.
constructing Dr. Glitch.
I was just thinking that the guy that you constructed is the instrument I play, and does that mean that anybody can just play? I guess so. I guess that's the sad thing about that. But
It's hard to coordinate each
Well,
digit
that's why you need separate
on
hands.
each hand. It's kind of like eating a hamburger. You don't know how many cows that bite come from.
that's true. That's a good thought.
So
All makes
yeah,
one
I mean,
good thing.
At least he turned out okay. You know, Filbert tried to put 2 left hands on him at first when I left the room to, tell him to close up the incision. It was, of course, easily
mess.
rectified by me. I'm a brilliant surgeon.
Clearly, yes. Clearly.
So do you plan on continuing with the secret labs from now on?
Yes, we plan on continuing ad nauseam. Ad nauseam.
Okay.
So as long as you're still nauseated, we're going to continue.
Okay. Perfect. That's great. Well, I guess you want to wrap it up for the COG because I'm
Did you
actually
bring the wrapping? Did you bring something to wrap them up in?
Oh no,
What?
no. I think
I would suggest sort of I've got to get him back. He's about to have a seizure.
he does not seem good. Does not seem good.
I think his power levels are draining. So let's get him out of here.
Did you bring
and
the
we shall
wrapping?
bid you adieu.
All right. Well, thank you for coming
Thank
and
you
not
for
for
coming in.
killing us or freezing us or pressing us.
Yes, you better thank me for that killing.
Yes.
This way. Thank you.
That was close. I don't know.
very close. I was close to running out of things to say. I'm a bad guy on that note. Anyway, you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Huh.
We're to space! We're to space! We're to space invaders! We're to space! We're to space! We're to space invaders!
I'll sing it up. Give me a clap.
Anybody here?
Hey!
Hey, what's going on?
Oh man, you missed it. We were in a pickle a second ago.
Did I miss anybody?
Yeah, well, you actually missed Pinkerton.
Yeah, he was very upset
I've worked
that
with
he
that
was.
guy before. He's a dick.
Let's see, do you need the cans or no?
Oh, I don't know. Do I? Probably not.
Right.
All right.
Might.
All right.
Chris, you gonna get in here?
Well, man, I invited you here today because I actually wanted to talk about everything you do, not just COG. I wanted to talk about, I mean, you're involved with all the pinball repair in the town. Everything I see that you do is like...
I don't do all the pinball repair in town.
it seems like whenever... it seems like you're repairing old classic machines all the time.
Yeah.
And people's guitar amplifiers.
Yeah.
You're redoing Morgus videos.
Yeah.
Right, that was super cool. I like that.
Yeah, the Morgus thing. They just called me. In fact, we're going to do the Morgus Mania party again at WYS in October.
Nice.
Right after we get back off a tour,
Oh, very cool.
which is great. You know.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, we've got a very busy October.
Where's the tour?
The tour is going to take us from a convention, a sci-fi convention, up in Hudson, Ohio, down to our annual gig in Houston
Nice.
at the Arcade Expo. And so we're gonna try to hit Nashville, where we've got some friends, and either Little Rock or Jackson. We haven't figured that out yet.
I do like Little Rock. I've
You
been
do
there
li-
before. It's
Are there any places to play?
I don't know.
Probably
You know,
plenty.
I know, yeah, I would think so. You know,
Yeah, I
they
came
have,
up short trying to.
Yeah, we got another
ask
hookup.
The High Castle Teleorchestra people, like nobody ever sees a post. You know, like you post something and 3 people see it.
Yeah, right. Like, well, that's not
But
fucking help.
nobody that's from Arkansas ever said anything.
He's in a very interesting band called the High Castle Orchestra.
High
which
Castle
is-
Teleorchestra.
Right.
Ah.
Telly Orchestra. Telly, of course, being a long distance collaboration.
Okay, not the guitar. Not
But
that.
he's got some really high level people involved in that.
Yes. So me and Tim Smallins, he was a bass player in a Stratosphere, and me and I are kind of like run the day-to-day operations, and we have Stian Karstensen from Farmers Market. He's in Norway. He's like this crazy jazz accordion, like badass,
Right.
and Bulgarian music kind of expert. And
Okay.
Bear McKinnon from Mr. Bungle. He's
Jesus
probably not going to
Christ.
be as involved going forward. He's kind of focusing on Umlaut.
Right.
And Timba Harris and Dave Murray from Stratosphere. And we just added a new member, Caitlin O'Connor. She sang a lot on our first album. And it's crazy stuff, but I'm kind of happy to dive into COG stuff because, you know, we work on songs for months and months at a time on one
Right.
song. And just my guitar takes, like I'll set up mics and they will stay there and gather dust for weeks as I try to just finish one damn song. So it's kind of refreshing.
I thought we were bad with cause.
It's kind of refreshing to just like let it out and like just have some fun. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you on the new recorded stuff from COG?
No, I'm not on any recordings at all.
Chris
Okay.
just joined up right after we released our last single, which was Ultra Gator versus Lobsterzilla. And that was only like a couple of months ago now.
That's a great track.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to learn how to play that track.
I listened to a lot of your songs today, and the guitar parts are awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I really like a lot of the guitar solos in there and everything.
Yeah, it's
It se-
intimidating.
well, it seems
Right,
like it
yeah.
seems like a lot of work has been put toward the music. It isn't just a gimmick at all. Like, so I
Oh,
really
yeah, no, the
enjoyed
music is definitely
Yeah.
like
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
I'm there.
appreciate
It's
that.
all over the place too. You
Yeah.
know, it's not like one little thing, but it's not. I don't know. It's not like a cover band to where it's just we're doing whatever for the crowd. It's like we're writing all these things.
Yeah.
you know, like this is.
Yeah,
just,
I'm kind of sitting in that same seat with you because I
Yeah.
mean I'm so new to it. A lot of these songs I've never heard, and I mean it's like they're really made with love, and
yeah.
like the riffs are really, they've got great hooks. I think they're kind of the hook
Yeah, they're
masters.
real songs. They're not like jingle, you know, just like a short, silly, stupid song. They're real songs. The
Yeah.
music behind them seems like it's really thought out. Are all the drum beats programmed?
Yeah, that's usually me sitting behind an electronic kit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm Drumbot's proxy.
Oh, okay.
And like if it's an electronic sort of sound that we're going for, it'll probably be programmed on a keyboard.
Right.
But if it's metal or pop or something like, you know, a rock oriented thing, I'll sit behind a kit.
I was going to say there's a lot of double bass and stuff like that. It sounds like somebody would have had to program most of it, so I can see that you played it. That probably makes more sense.
You told me a few weeks ago about this. Tell them a bit about Drumbot, where those sample, like when you sampled those drums, how long ago?
Oh,
you know?
yeah, that's true. So, yeah, a lot of Drumbot. I mean, this is like tech geek shit. But,
That's cool. We like this
Fine,
stuff.
Yeah.
Drumbot's sound is actually centered around an ancient piece of computer hardware that was like already 2 years old when we first played in '96.
Yeah. Shit.
So that same exact sound card is still at the heart of the show
That's fucking
performance
amazing,
computer.
yeah.
And it's like, I guess it was pretty hot back then. It was, high end for mid '90s.
Right.
But now it's an anachronism.
Yeah, but it sounds like you guys.
Yeah, right?
Right.
You know?
But like that card had sample memory on it. Mm-hmm. So like the cymbals and stuff, I took samples of my friend's favorite cymbals. Like I could tell you about those exact drums and stuff that comprise Drumbot's kit.
Yeah.
Right. So like all the sounds that he's used for the last almost 30 years have all been the same sounds.
Right. Yeah.
It's really only changed recently.
That's a trip, man.
Yeah, it really kind of is.
I think I saw you were repairing a piece of equipment that was Drumbot, I think, and you took pictures of it and put it on Facebook.
Yeah, well, Drumbot. Okay, so Drumbot himself is an anachronism as far as his video computer goes, because that is being rendered by an ancient computer that you may or may not have ever heard of, called an Amiga computer, which is
You've heard of Commodore?
Yes. Yeah.
Commodore Amiga.
Okay.
Drumbot runs on an Amiga 1200 computer, which is from 1992.
Right.
Okay.
That was the hot, man, those things they're
for
still
sure.
awesome.
I mean, yeah,
Pieces
for what
of
it is, it's
engineering.
awesome. It was like a video computer, and back then you could actually edit video and stuff on that machine,
Yeah,
which was
yeah.
years before you could do it anywhere else.
And the sound, like on those things.
Yeah, it was
for the time.
full stereo, and you could make electronic music like you wouldn't believe on those
Right.
machines. So that's what's used to do Drumbot's video loops. All of his parts are driven by MIDI. So that computer takes in MIDI and it puts out loops of video of Drumbot playing, which was all cell animated by my buddy Peg back at UNO back in the 90s, when we were all students back then.
Does he ever come see the shows, and still see the video footage that he made?
Oh, well, yeah, actually Peg's been to a lot of shows since she moved back into town. She was
sorry, sounded
she
like
was-
a guy's name for a second.
No.
I
Peg-
have a friend named Peg, but Peggy
Oh,
sounds
okay.
that makes sense.
Now, Peggy was living up in Boston for a while, and she eventually got sick of that and moved back down home, where she still is, and she has amazing art. I'll have to get you a link to that. But she's done every album cover except for the covers.
What's her last
album.
name? I can look it up. I try to throw in the things in the edit,
Well, okay, so
or just like her
last name is
artist
Trouth, Trauth, but she doesn't use that as her pen name
Right.
for art. Her art name is Egypt Ernash.
There we go. I can look that up.
Yeah.
I'll look that up. That'll be easier.
So she did all the
Drumbot
all those-
frames. Yeah, she
yeah.
was working for Spumco after I.
What is that? That sounds
yeah,
super
Ren and
familiar.
Stimpy.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
She
yeah,
actually
shit.
worked on Ren and Stimpy.
Okay.
So
That's fucking. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
those,
awesome.
those covers are badass, man.
Yeah.
I love those.
yeah, she's done some decent the poster art for our 30th anniversary show and the previous show that we had done over at Southport, and probably got to design a T-shirt or something soon.
The 30th was just recently, right?
Yeah.
Like last year or
Yeah.
earlier this year. Yeah.
Are any of the original members in the band?
The original members of the band, gosh, we've had over 35 people come
Oh,
through this
shit.
band.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We've had a lot of incarnations of this band.
You've always been. Of course.
Yeah, it's always
right,
been
yeah.
me. And it was started by me and my college buddy, Kirk, back in the late 80s and early 90s. And he eventually moved off, to UT of Austin, and now he's a professor up in Canada. But he was never actually in the stage band, okay?
yeah.
We just wrote all the original material, like the very original material. And by the time I was writing Die Barney Die, he had, he was ensconced in his college career. And the people that I had on that recording became the first stage band.
Okay.
And that was George Schley and Keith Casaubon. And that version of the band didn't really last more than half a year, and
Yeah.
pretty soon George was like leaving town to go, accelerate his career in Washington, D.C. And Chris Flatman, a.k.a. Filbert Snodgrass, came in and took over on bass. And he's been in and out of the band like over and over again over the years.
Yeah.
But he has always been there. Like, originally our band space was rented from his mom.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So that shows just how close he's
Like
been to the
founding,
whole
yeah,
thing. Yeah,
for sure.
real founding member.
Right.
Even though he wasn't in the band at the original
Right.
inception, So, hats off to Chris Flaman, because he was on the ground floor,
Right.
pretty much.
Whenever you guys started, and since you've started, has it always been a live band?
Well, no, that's the thing. It's like in '93, back up to '96, it was a recording project.
Okay.
And I would be typically recording somebody's band, and then after the session, if they had some shit hot guitarist or something, I would tell them, hey, stick around after. I want you to put down a solo on this stupid song I'm writing about a giant rabbit. That kind of thing would happen.
Yeah.
And that's the way it happened.
Gotcha.
And Chris Flaman, for instance, was on March of the Skeletons when we recorded that in 1995. And I remember very distinctly having this big concept. Like, I told him, okay, on this song, you're playing the part of two guitarists, one of whom rules and one of whom sucks. So the guitar solo has to be like between those two guys. Got it? And he was like, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. Shit.
So I gave him 2 tracks, and on one of them he's like playing sweep parts, and on the other track he was like working the whammy bar until the strings crashed into the pickups.
I think that was one of the songs I was jamming to on the way here.
March of the
though.
Skeletons. Yeah, it's a great sludge song.
Right.
Very cool. But so once it started, it was just a recording project that became a band that would do lectures.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, what happened to kind of like kick me into the live performance thing, it was a result of seeing 2 bands back in '95. And I still remember very vividly going to see them. The first one was The Upper Crust, which
I've not. No.
y'all probably have never heard of that.
No.
But this was a band, a theme band, kind of like we're a theme band, in which these guys dressed up as these poofy 18th century aristocrats. Okay? And
That's the last thing I thought you were going to say, really.
Well, upper crust.
The Upper Crust.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Now
they
it
were
makes-
based in
yeah.
Boston, and they had...
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. In fact, one of them was like a Clinton speechwriter. But I think that was the guy who was like the trust fund baby in the band. There was a good documentary on them a number of years ago.
Wow.
But
Man, I would have loved.
Oh, Clinton's
it
Library.
was fantastic, and we always would go to see them when they played here. But I saw them at first on Conan O'Brien's show. I remember my wife was like, "Come in here, Lewis! Come in here right now and check this out!" And they're playing this song called "Little Lord Fauntleroy," and it sounds like AC/DC, and the lyrics are all about some English fop, and
Yes.
it was just incredible that this was allowed on the air.
Right.
Because it was just so completely off the wall. And then a few months later, I found out that they're playing at the Howling Wolf. So
Like, we're definitely going to this shit.
Went down there, really, really tripped out on how great that was. And
And that was like,
so
we've got to do these songs
instant
live.
fan. I was an instant fan
Yeah.
of this
Right.
band. And they kept it going for a good 20 years, but they haven't played since maybe shortly after Katrina. I haven't heard much from them.
Yeah.
Because they're all getting up in years.
Right, yeah.
Although one of them had a hook to the city. Like, he was a part owner at the Saint Bar. But I don't even know if that bar is still open.
I think
Yeah.
they just announced that they were closed.
That's too bad. But so that was one of the bands. And you got to dig up that band. And
Yeah,
they're
I'm gonna have to
amazing.
see that shit,
They sound
yeah.
like the Buzzcocks or AC/DC
Nice.
or something. But all their lyrics are about the peasantry, and being above it all, and
Yeah.
the privilege,
Upper crust.
I just
Yeah.
want to see
Yeah,
somebody
crust.
jam out in one of those shirts.
I know, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. man.
Sleeves.
There's
Right,
video,
yeah, puffy
there's
as
video on
hell, like
YouTube. You can check it
pompadour,
out.
White.
Who's the other
powder
band?
wigs.
The other band, and powdered wigs, the whole
Right,
9
yeah,
yards, makeup,
Falling off
The
the,
whole
entire
thing,
time?
yeah.
That's got to be awesome.
and songs like "She's Old Money," Coachman. And
Old money.
yeah. Oh, that's my favorite. Anyway,
I'm
let them eat
interested.
rock.
I'm real interested. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
you
God.
got to
yeah.
hear this stuff.
I got to see it.
But the other band that I think I cribbed more from was really never seen again. They were called the Emergency Broadcast Network.
okay.
And I saw this band, which was almost like a comedy industrial band, right? And they were at Rendon Inn, which was the hangar before they were the hangar.
Okay.
Okay.
And they had a big stage set up they had a VJ who was jockeying video, and this was in 95, so that was probably pretty high technical skill at that point.
Yeah.
They had that. They had two guitarists, bassist, a keyboardist. They had people all over the stage. But they had this lead singer guy in a lab coat. Actually, they were all wearing lab coats. And this guy had, he had spectacles on with lights in them.
Fuck yeah.
And he had a podium. And it was an attack podium because it had, turrets on the side with lasers. And he could actually swing this thing around with motors and target people in the audience.
Nice. Oh, that's
and he
fucking
was,
cool.
Yeah, it was incredible. And the music sucked. Okay?
Right,
The
right.
music was really
It's
horrible.
about the show then.
But yeah, it was all about the show. It was all about touchy topics like dangerous drugs or shooting an AK-47, which he proceeded to do during one of the songs
Like with
to the
blanks?
beat.
To the beat.
To the beat. Yeah, he was shooting the AK into the air to the beat, and I was very impressed.
I would. Yep.
I'd seen War already by this point, but this was different. This was sardonic sense of humor that was a little scientific because everybody was wearing lab coats.
Right.
And there was video projected behind the band in synchronization to the music.
Yeah.
And it was all industrial music, but it was funny.
Right.
And they were never heard again. They were absorbed into U2's touring contingent as their production wing.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
What?
Well,
So the
right.
emergency broadcast
Zoo TV,
network?
Zoo TV tour for U2 utilized this band as their AV department.
Fuck. Okay.
like-
And they
We
were
like
never
your
heard
vibe.
from again.
We want
because
it.
Their music sucked.
right. Right.
So
yeah.
they're at the Globe now. So
Right.
I don't know if it's any of those same guys. I mean, this was literally 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But they made an impression on me. And so, on my way back from seeing these two shows, I was like, now I know what I must do.
yeah.
And I had a very clear vision of what I had to do
I love
because
that.
nobody else in town was doing it.
Oh, I'm sure. Right. Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like you had any breaks. If you say you had so many members, if I look at the tour or the every show that you documented on
Yeah.
there, it seems like that's yearly that there's something.
Oh, yeah,
3 or
yeah.
4
We
shows
have
That's what I'm
multiple
saying.
shows a
It
year.
was a trip to hear that it had been 35 people because it just seems like there was never a stop. You
Yeah,
know? They
that's
were
what I
like,
mean.
Oh, we needed to, vet these people in or something.
Yeah, and a few of them have only stuck around for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And I'm also not counting people that auditioned and didn't make it. Mm-hmm. I'm
So
counting
even
actual
more.
people that were in shows.
Yeah, right.
And participated fully and had a full character name and everything.
Fuck yeah,
You know?
right.
Everybody gets their own character name. Everybody gets to pick their own
Backstory shit.
accent and
Yeah.
backstory and nationality and specialization and look and everything.
Did you make the hat?
yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, that was like the prototype, and I've got all the plans. And I mean, I'm not as good of a tech as Lewis.
I don't know about that.
I mean, I build stuff too, but I keep procrastinating, and then we get these interview things. I'm like, well,
Oh,
I'm glad
shit, I gotta do it now,
I'm
yeah.
glad it's not on the workbench somewhere. Like,
Yeah, maybe I should ratchet up the pressure by booking a show.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our next show at this point right now is in October.
That's the
We
Houston
don't have,
deal.
that's it's Ohio, Houston, and then WYES for the Morgus
Right.
party.
Oh,
you
cool.
know,
Is that the-
kids these days? Like Ohio is like a thing. They want to say,
I know it's
Skibbity,
shit's
Ohio
weird in
Riz.
Ohio. Yeah,
And
something with Ohio. I don't
Dad,
get
you're
it.
Skibbity Ohio Riz. I'm like, I don't know
What the fuck you
said.
just said? Are you having a seizure?
Dad, you're going to Ohio.
You having a stroke?
Skibbity.
Like, yeah, the fucking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's on. What the fuck, man?
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
yeah, so we've got a very busy end of the year, but I have a feeling that we're getting pretty tight right now with this new lineup, and we're gonna have to book something.
Yeah. Do you ever play around town?
Oh yeah.
Like, is there a spot that you
No,
know?
not anymore.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
Like when we were
Southport,
playing,
I know
the
you-
last one we
Right, yeah, that's what I
Southport
was
is
thinking. There we go.
right now
Yes.
kind of like for big shows. That's our home.
Yeah, yeah.
But nobody does like just little,
Yeah, right.
one-off shows at Southport. It's got to be a big production. So I don't really waste their time by trying to book just
Just a show.
yeah, little passing show. But Marshram was getting to be real comfy, and then they burned down.
Yeah.
So that sucked because we really liked that place.
Yeah. Their stage was nice. The sound
Yeah.
was fucking killer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I liked
and
a
they
lot
served
of
food.
things.
I like that a
Yeah, I
lot.
like
Oh,
the
their
food
food was so killer.
It really
The
was.
food was
It's
really,
really
was.
nice if you can go grab some chicken tenders after you
Yeah.
play one time.
Right?
Instead
What
of
are
like,
those the fucking fries with the debris shit all over it? That was
Right.
good
Should've
too.
never had
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
it was
the
good.
hamburger was just incredible.
Right.
And I have nothing bad to say. I really miss that place.
For sure.
And I don't know. I mean, right now we don't really have like a home base, but I'm involved with the pinball club, so we probably will play there. But that's more of a private party,
Right, yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our original home was Jimmy's Music Club.
Uh-huh.
That was the first place that we got to play in a real club, back in the 90s. And
is that the Willow now?
yes, it's the
Yeah.
Willow.
Yeah.
It's not the same. Not since Jimmy left.
Yeah.
Fucking Nirvana played at that place back in the 90s and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think
oh, yeah,
Iggy
a
Pop
lot
played
of peop-
there.
yeah.
It's crazy.
I know. Yeah.
Hell, I was underage, faking my way into the
Oh, yeah.
door with a fake ID, and I saw a lot of great shows there.
How did you end up being such an electronics whiz?
Well, I got part of that from my dad. He taught me how to wield a soldering iron,
Right. Fiddle with shit.
fiddle with.
Yeah.
He was teaching automotive, and so he taught me early on how all that works.
Yeah.
And I remember coming up, he had parts lying about his lying about
like
his
it.
Too
workshop.
used to it. Too used to it.
Yes.
His workshop, yeah. But he had parts of an oscilloscope lying around.
Right,
And
yeah.
It's like he never finished putting that scope together, but all those parts, that was early stuff for me to mess with.
Yeah.
Started building my own circuits and stuff,
Yeah.
Was your dad a ham radio guy? I can't remember.
No, he never got into that. No, he was he was more into carpentry and stuff, like building his own two-story shed and building his own workshop. And
That was my gate. My dad was a ham guy.
Yeah.
And then, so
My neighbor is. Yeah. He's like, I talked to someone in Japan. It's like, I don't even understand how that stuff works,
Yeah.
honestly, man.
shortwave is cool. I've known a lot of people that were into it, and I wish I had gotten into it, but I never did.
Right. I like the solar panel stuff. I always
Yeah.
whenever you're putting that stuff, I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, that's what
do
I
you
mean.
do
I was
now?
like, just following
What the
your.
fuck is this?
It's not that just one type of electronics. It seems like you're dealing with the tube amps, which of course are ancient technology, and then you've got all the way down to replacing digital screens on most things some people would throw away.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like you must have. It must be something like that. Knowledge must almost be broad because it seems like you wouldn't just be able to learn it, back in the day. And that's all you
Yeah,
needed.
somewhat. I mean, a lot of it is self-taught, but I did have a couple of formal classes because I graduated in computer science, and they had a couple of logic circuit classes.
Yeah.
So I know some of that stuff enough to to really get by with diagnosis.
Yeah.
And putting together simple stuff, and also my dad ran the vocational school on airline, and so I got to participate in a couple of classes over there too.
Right.
So I had some formal, a little bit of formal training.
It
But a
goes
lot
good
of it's
well
just
with
internet
the,
stuff.
Yeah, right. I
Internet
mean, there's fucking
research.
everything on there.
Oh, yeah.
But it goes well with the persona too, because it's like, yeah, he does the cog thing, and then on his off time, he's still building shit. And
Yeah, it's like
Right,
you
well,
are running a lab.
The thing
Right,
about,
yeah.
The thing about COG is that it's basically everything I know how to do stuck together.
Right.
Yeah, you're keeping that old technology alive.
Right. I mean,
Right.
it kind of spans a whole bunch of shit. Like, it's got the electronics angle, it's got the sci-fi angle, because I'm a sci-fi nerd.
Yeah.
And I've been involved with those cons all my life. It's got, a little bit of comic book fantasy in there with the characters. And it's got music. I'm very interested in music. I've been very interested in that ever since my cousins gave me their 45s back in the day.
Yeah.
So I had this big record collection dating all the way from the 30s.
Right.
The 30s. Because I had 78 records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had this weird grounding in everything from the 30s through the 70s.
Right.
coming up.
Shit, yeah.
And I memorized all that music, and so that's all in there.
Yeah.
If I write something.
What's the allure to the pinballs?
Oh, I love pinball. Pinball is like a great American art form, right?
Right.
It's a game that you play against the machine.
Right.
It's you trying to beat somebody else's conception of, of a game placed into the bowels of a wooden cabinet.
Right.
So it's like this perfectly tuned puzzle.
Right.
And they're just fantastic. I've always wanted to own a pinball machine. I finally did that back in 2000 when I really got into the hobby.
Yeah.
But, as a young kid, I was playing this game. Like, it was the only game you could play out in the arcades that you could win a free game.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
There's definitely something to that. Like, if you're playing Pac-Man or something, yeah, the quarter's gone, your time is up, and bye.
Yeah.
With a pinball, if you're good enough, you can pop the game and
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
another replay.
Yeah, I'm kind of terrible, and I've actually done it before.
I like pinball 'cause,
They also give you, there's a tradition in pinball. There's a lot of traditions in pinball, but one of them is the match feature at the end of the game. If you match the random number, you get a free game.
right.
Okay.
You don't even have to earn that. You
Yeah,
just
that
have
must
to-
be how I've gotten them, because I don't ever
It's
remember
just,
being great.
it's a gambling
It's like,
holdover.
Yeah,
Originally
right.
it was a
I
gambling
suck.
game.
Yeah.
But it turned into a skill game, and when they added the flippers in the
Mm.
40s. So, yeah, I love pinball.
There's also a personality to each one.
Oh, yeah.
considering that they
Yeah,
do,
for
like
sure.
the Kiss machine, the Jumanji machine.
Yeah,
or something like
there's
that.
the theme of the personality, but there's also the personality of the guy that designed the game.
Right.
Like, if you're really into it, you can feel that personality coming out too. It's like you're
Right. They're the one that put the obstacles in.
Exactly.
They
They
set
laid
up
out the
way it
table
is.
and
Yeah. Right.
they made it hard or they made it easy. Some
Right.
of the games are really easy and they're a pushover and I get bored.
Right.
And some of the games are so excruciatingly hard that you have to keep coming back.
I was gonna say, you got to take a break from it before
Frustrates you.
It drives you crazy,
Yeah.
right? But that's what makes, to me, a really great contest.
Yeah.
So
they keep
I like the
evolving,
pinball
like-
shit.
You would think at some point they plateau, and it doesn't. Like, I mean, I'm just kind of a casual admirer of them, and I'll come and see the new games and
Yeah.
put them against ones from 10 years ago and the 10 years before that.
Oh, yeah.
And it just keeps
Well, at the same
they
way
keep
though,
leveraging new.
Right. Well, the computer
technology.
complexity keeps getting better.
Right.
So
But
they
like
can
the-
keep adding more and more in there.
the game itself though is still a metal
Yeah,
ball
true.
flippers
Yeah.
and like it's like yes whatever graphics
But all
and
that
shit they're
stuff
doing but like
distracts you,
yeah right
like,
yeah
Oh, yeah.
but the
yeah,
game is always
ultimately,
the same
It's you against gravity.
Right,
And
right.
just like in life, gravity will eventually
it's gonna
catch up to
yeah
you.
yeah no I'd always liked it because it seemed like there was always a pinball machine around like
Yeah.
in a spot like there wouldn't be a bunch of they'd have the Pac-Man tables and shit or whatever but like there was always a pinball machine wherever I was going.
Yeah.
It's 25 cents.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're saying, maybe it's 3 games worth of shit,
Maybe. Yeah, who knows?
Right.
All depends on how good you are. But it's like there's a renaissance going on right now with that hobby. There's more companies building those than ever in history.
Right?
Really?
It's incredible.
Even more than in its heyday?
Yeah, because
Because
now
its heyday is now.
the heyday. Well, it's like a new renaissance because
Right, that.
you've got people now buying them, and they're not cheap either. I mean, we're talking
I
like
wouldn't imagine.
$8,000-$9,000 is the entry point,
Right.
for getting a new game.
Right.
A new game.
I've seen some
Yeah.
busted ones in
And not
people's
even-
houses
yeah.
that were cheaper.
Yeah, you can
for
get old games.
Yeah, yeah.
Much less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you gotta know how to maintain it.
Yeah, that's the other
How much
thing.
you want to pay.
You know,
Oh yeah, I bet you.
They
Yeah, you
break.
buy a fucking thing. Yeah, it's gonna break. Do you have the time to fix the servos and all this
Yeah,
shit?
right?
even-
Or
even
if
if
you
you know
know,
how to do it.
somebody,
Right.
Which half the time ends up being.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
what I was
Yep.
thinking.
I mean, even go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
go
it's-
ahead.
It's like big enough that we've got a pinball club here in town.
Yeah.
And definitely speaks to me because it's like-minded people that like electronics and they like music. The place is like a little mini concert hall.
Yeah.
It's a social aid and pleasure club called the Mystic Crew, the Silver Ball.
Okay.
And we're set up in a clubhouse back behind Clearview
Okay.
in Metairie.
It's
And
like Mr. Robot.
yeah,
if
but
you've
this
seen
place
that.
has got like a Pro Tools rig, and people come in and do concerts every month.
Nice.
And we've got like 60 pinball games in there and a bunch of classic arcades.
Hell yeah.
And,
right.
it's a great hobby.
That sounds awesome.
It really is.
I can't wait to go there.
We'll probably end up playing there pretty soon.
Right. There
How
go.
did you get involved with the Morgus restoration and everything like that?
Okay. So you can kind of tell that Morgus, the character, makes up a component of what I'm paying homage to in my show.
Right.
I feel that, yeah.
You
Whenever
know?
you do it, especially whenever I saw that you were restoring, I was like, oh God, all this makes 100% sense now.
Well, yeah, but I actually got to be friends with the old man.
Yeah.
You know, I befriended Sid Noel and got to meet him finally in person in 2006. And he even, like, did some stuff with the C.O.G.
Mm-hmm.
He's on 2 songs, and we did a TV pilot thing.
Okay.
Where he, played Morgus and was trying to kill Pinkerton. It's great.
did he succeed? Well,
yeah.
he
Oh,
didn't.
yeah. He did.
Nice.
Absolutely. But so yeah, I became close with the guy. Got to hang out and meet his wife and kids and stuff. And as I was getting better and better at video, it became very practical for me to work with him and restore the episodes. And
Yeah.
so me and his webmaster, Chuck Berlowski, who lives up in Detroit, worked on getting the first DVD out, and that was in 2005.
Just because you said that, is Detroit the place that he also existed in?
That's right.
Okay, yeah. Because I
Right.
remember before he had existed in some other state for some point in his career.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, in 62, after he did the movie,
Yeah, I knew there was a movie too.
yeah, he left town and went up to Detroit and kind of repeated the same thing up there for about a year before getting sick of Detroit and coming back down to New Orleans. And then he got back on the air, on WDSU, met the director that he would work with in the 80s when he brought it all back
Right.
after a 15-year hiatus. But
I used to watch it every Saturday
Me
night.
too.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
and then
Absolutely.
I was trying to turn it off real quick before Tales of the Dark Side came on. The beginning just scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Tales,
I like that
Tales
show
was
too.
great.
I love that
It's
show.
bad to have
yeah.
an intro
I
that
know.
good because it's just like, how are you going to live up to that?
Yeah, do you feel that way when you
Oh,
watch
yeah.
it? Like when I watch it, I was like,
Good, though.
Scared the hell out of
Some
me.
of those
Like,
episodes were amazing though.
Yeah,
Like,
they were.
Yeah.
Stephen King was like at the very top.
See, I don't
for
even
sure.
know if I saw that. Like, I didn't even know he was involved with that.
He wrote one
Yeah,
episode.
That's
many of
cool.
those gave me nightmares when I was a little kid.
Yeah, and you look at it now, and it's like really low budget film production, but
The story is still
they
there.
got a lot
It's
out of
still-
it.
Yeah.
yeah, that was like a golden era.
I mean,
think.
you'd see all sorts of stuff. I think I watched The Birds on Morgus, though.
Yeah.
Like, am I right about that? Did they do The Birds?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they were taking basically the whole idea of Morgus was taking these movie packages that were shopped around to all the stations all over the country.
Yeah.
And then you put a horror host in there to keep the interest up. Even though people have seen these movies before, you stick a local guy in there,
Right.
with some local
Does your
flavor.
spiel. Yeah.
And it,
Now people watch
I mean,
shit.
that kept us going all the way from the 50s to the 80s when people like Elvira were really blowing up.
Right.
And,
Yeah, I remember
USA,
Elvira,
Captain
too.
USA and
Yeah, true. Oh,
yeah.
Fuck, I forgot about that.
there's a lot
yeah.
of really
Man, I
great
loved it.
stuff going on in the late 80s. And he was all in that
Great
mix.
movies on that.
And he tried taking it national too, but we're pretty weird here in New Orleans. And
Right,
everybody
yeah.
gets it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
But
I wonder how that was received
I wonder.
in
well, apparently it was on
Detroit.
the air briefly in New York and Chicago.
I can see somebody selling that out to another place or whatever
Yeah.
as well.
I mean, they had the Bozo show from Chicago, and they sold that out. Why the hell not have Morgus?
I mean,
Yeah.
I watch the Bojo show every morning.
Yeah.
For sure.
Did you?
and that didn't make
we were
any
up early
sense,
as
and
fuck.
that was
Hell no, it
weird.
made no fucking
I'll tell you
sense.
what, though, another thing that was formative for me was going to the Rivergate on Halloween in 1988 and seeing Morgus live on stage.
Right.
They did the entire episode live to air, and had all these people coming up for a costume contest. I mean, these are like, they were little kids, and these are people that actually helped me out with my own stuff later on.
Yeah.
A lot of really, really cool people. And heck, one of the guys I was going to college with at the time was like working camera for that show.
Right.
But yeah, I had no idea I would end up meeting these people later and becoming friends with them. And then me and some other production buddies did Mystery of Morgus, which came out in 2007, and that was like a full-scale documentary on WVUE.
Right.
And so yeah, I was completely entrenched in the whole thing by then.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that you were real good, close friends with him after I saw your tribute to him after he died and everything like that. It's
Yeah.
like this guy knows him for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I had
Or
become
tight.
close with him and with his director Paul Yasich, and even with Chopsley. At least Chopsley 2. Chopsley 1 died in the 80s,
Yeah, that's what I'd heard. I think
Right.
I was watching at that point.
but they didn't really let on. Like him, Tommy George, and James Gilliott were alternating back and forth. And James told me like the way that you could tell them apart was to look for the suntan line of a watch.
Oh,
his arm. Otherwise, they were completely indistinguishable. But James Gilliott was a real cool guy too, and actually he would come out and work sound for C.O.G. when he could. Like he worked sound for us back up in the House
That's
of
nuts,
Blues.
man.
Right.
I
and
didn't
in,
know any
Slidell.
of this stuff until we
Really
had
cool
this
guys.
conversation.
Really cool. They were all cool. All the
So when Morgus went to Detroit, that's when he did those 45s.
Yeah, the
Like
one
the
that
Morgus
that I brought to your
Creep
house to
and-
transfer. Yeah, he did a 45 up in Detroit, which was like this weird beatnik poetry about a werewolf with a surf band backing him
That's a
up.
great
Trying to make like
track.
his own Monster Mash.
Yeah, sort of.
Right.
Sort of.
Okay. Yeah.
With a local band up there called the Derringers. And it's funny, too, because I remember, like, vividly, one day I was talking with Sid on the phone. Like, we would just talk about whatever was going on in the world. And I asked him about that record, and he actually started reciting it.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Like, from 40 years later,
Right.
he remembered every word. The dude had, like, a photographic memory.
That's insane.
You've recorded all C.O.G's music like yourself?
Yeah.
Everything?
Yeah.
And how many other I hear from Philip from Raise the Death Toll when he was in here, he said that you're recording somebody every day.
Almost. I mean, that's a little exaggerated, but I do have several bands I'm like consistently working with.
Yeah.
Like I'm the sound man and producer for Tomb of Nick Cage.
Right.
Yeah, that's what they were telling us as
Yes.
well.
A lot of the Bad Beth stuff. Right.
Yeah, I do a lot of work for Beth
Yeah.
Patterson, both Bad Beth and Good Beth.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Beth
And,
in general.
I didn't know
Every
there was a
version
good
of Beth.
Yeah, you can tell the difference with the hair color. It's kind of like
Oh, right. Yes. Yes.
But but yeah, I'm doing a record right now with Tiffany Pollack, and I've
That
done.
sounds familiar.
I know. I
Yeah,
don't know
well,
why. I know the name.
She's been in C.O.G. before as Pinkerton's sister for Melda.
I was going to ask you. I would never know who that is.
Yeah, the little his little sister for Melda, the white sheep of the family, the one with favorite treatment by Grandpa.
Is that the one who has that monologue that says you're blowing all the family's money on your lab and experiments or something
Yeah,
like
I think
that?
so.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
Yeah,
man.
Tiffany is incredibly talented and very driven, and she's in like 5 bands too.
Right.
And she'll still come and play shows with us.
I'm gonna have to look it up because the name sounds so
yeah, it
familiar.
sounds like there's
So
something
familiar.
else.
Yeah,
Has she been on the Secret Lab?
Yeah, actually twice.
Okay,
Yeah.
that
Maybe
might be where
maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a fantastic blues band, amongst other things, and has done, without being a Pinkerton character, as herself, she's been the subject of 2 secret labs so far.
Gotcha.
So-
yes. What came? What did that start up? Like, what was the? Why'd you want to
Secret
start
Lab?
up that? Yeah.
Oh,
Just to
okay,
fuck
so-
off, or like
What happened with that was in May of 2020, we had this big show booked at Southport with a band coming in from out of town and some friends of ours and just a whole bunch of guest stars, and it was going to be an amazing show. And then pandemic hit.
Yep.
And
I knew it
everything
was
shut
gonna be the
down.
shit. Yeah.
Everything was completely shut down. And yeah, it was a weird time, and y'all remember what it was like.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
wondering what the
everything
fuck
we
is
had,
going on.
everything we had planned got shut down as well.
What are we going
Yeah.
to do?
Our
Right, yeah,
album
that,
literally
yeah.
came out on the day that everything shut
The
down.
day, the
Yeah.
the lockdown happened.
Yeah,
Like, mother
sucks.
fucker.
But yeah, I don't usually let something like that, put an end to my plans.
Right.
So somehow something had to happen, and I was also like looking at my studio and the way it was wired up, and we had done some live to tape stuff in there before. Like typically when I'm recording with a band, I'm doing a 16-track recording, and that's the way I like to track with everybody playing.
Right.
So it's not a very far leap to get from that to a live broadcast. And my friends over at the Pin Church were already doing that with a program called OBS.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
online broadcast.
Online or
Yeah.
open broadcasting
Yeah,
system.
there we go.
Yeah, I
And
still
so,
can't figure that fucking thing out.
OBS, once I started digging in, I was like, wow, this is amazing. You can do all this.
You do a lot of shit with it.
You
for
can
sure.
like put all these cameras into it, and you can put graphics in front of it, and
Million audio
look at that. It even
inputs.
has chroma key, and my studio's already painted blue.
Right.
Like,
I was going to ask that too. Was
yeah,
that
the
something?
studio was
yeah,
already
okay.
painted.
Yeah.
because we had been doing chroma key gags
Oh, okay. Right.
for years.
Gotcha.
But it was not in real time. It was like
Film and
for
edit.
music videos
Yeah.
and stuff.
Mhm.
But we'd been doing that since I got the place in 2000
Yeah.
for years and years, for 20 years. And so when the pandemic hit, me and my friends sat down with a beer and we were like, what are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
It was me and Sean and Melissa from Tomb of Nick
Yeah.
Cage.
Right.
And we kind of came up with a twist on, okay, I don't want to overcomplicate this, but a few years before, I'd come up with a concept that we never followed up on that was called band wrestling.
Okay. Yes. I like where this is going.
Yeah, I mean, it might have worked. It might have worked and it might have not
Oil
worked.
wrestling?
But like, try to see the parallels here between what
Right, yeah.
that was and what we're doing
get it,
now.
yeah, yeah.
In that concept, you would have a panel of celebrity judges, 3 celebrity judges on the side, and then on the stage, you'd have 2 bands, each of which would have to learn each other's material.
Oh shit. Okay. Okay.
And the judges would determine whether,
Did you do it well
which
enough?
band had
I
done
would
it
hate
better.
to. I would hate to hear the band just play our music
Right?
better than us.
So, I mean, that already sounds kind of
I was
like
like,
what we're
shit.
doing with the
Right.
Secret Lab.
Right.
Even though we didn't
I
have the
like that
judges
idea, though.
in
Yeah.
for years. We
Right.
only added the judges back in like 2 years ago.
Right.
And we'd already been on the air for 2 years. But yeah, we sat down and came up with this quick idea called Live from the Secret Lab, where we were just going to host bands.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then my mind started ticking, and I was like looking at the OBS program and how you could overlay stuff coming in from an outside file.
Right.
And since I'm also a computer programmer, I was like, wait a minute, you know what? I could put a scoreboard up on the screen.
Right. Ticker
And
at the
we could
bottom.
actually run this as a game show.
Nice. Yeah.
And
Got the applause and everything that comes
right,
up.
yeah, the fake applause. Like, okay, we'll have some animated robots
Right.
coming up and applauding. We added that pretty quick, but I mean, the basic idea was just going to be live from the Secret Lab, and it became Escape from the Secret Lab.
Right.
Just with me thinking about escape rooms and what is this bastard Pinkerton going to do? I mean, after all, he's going to be trying to do something horrible to the bands.
Right.
And so what if we make it a contest, against the house, the band versus the lab,
Yes.
and see who comes out on top.
I like it.
And yeah, it turned out real good.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's
Yeah,
got a
you're
very,
doing like
uh,
live editing on it the whole time.
The whole thing's
Yeah, oh,
live.
it's a
It
fucking
has to be
operation.
live
Yeah, yeah.
because
Have y'all been?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're on there
We've
twice.
been on it, yeah.
We're on there twice, but you
great.
don't realize till you watch back how much was happening to
Oh,
the
yeah.
video.
Oh
while
yeah,
it was
and it
live,
goes
you
so
know?
fast.
Yeah.
It's like holy shit, we're done.
well, I mean, that itself is kind of a compromise because, like, if you look at the stuff that actually kind of scores a lot of hits
Yeah.
on YouTube and Instagram and whatever,
Yeah.
it's like shorter the better. But I can't.
Oh no, I just meant like it
I
was a
can't
good
ask a
time. It
band
just
to
felt
come in
like
and just play for
it was like
15 minutes.
immediate. It was like
Right.
oh shit, man!
Yeah,
Like 'cause
the
it was
hour-
a bunch of fun, is what I
the
mean.
hour
It's like
goes
it's just
by fast.
that's what
very
I'm saying.
tight.
It's like
When
holy
you
shit,
let-
we're
when
done.
You just kind of let yourself.
And we also
into
had
it,
to
yeah.
cram all the other goofy shit in there
Yeah.
because we don't want to bore anybody.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not saying that a live show typically is boring, but
it can
I
get
want it to
tricky
be-
quick.
yeah, I wanted it to be something that you couldn't do on stage, even though we
Right.
have done it on stage a couple of times.
Yeah, green
But,
gasoline.
right?
Yeah, that was-
right.
yeah.
In fact, I think we're probably going to try to run one up in the con in October.
Nice.
But like I wanted it to be like a lot of variety, everything that we could do with a guest band, and really put them on the spot, really put the screws to them and
Yeah.
see if their audience would pony up, and they do, and
And that's a killer thing too, because it's like
Yeah, there's involvement with.
There's a lot of involvement,
fans.
and then the band technically gets paid out of it as well. You know?
Absolutely.
Like
In fact,
it's a win-win all over the place.
If you're not a fan, like if you don't like the band, like I watch it as much as I can every week, and
Right.
sometimes I
Yeah.
don't like the band, and I still will sit there and watch because
Yeah.
like
You don't know what's gonna happen.
the characters are so funny.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you know,
You fall in love with the
they have
show.
an knack for picking judges that are funny, and
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Like-
that component, that little detail, adding in the judges.
Uh-huh.
We did that
Oh,
only 2
man.
years ago, and that's just really opened things up because now I can call upon my friends who are comedians
Uh-huh.
or
Come
other
through and do
bands
their
that have
little
been on the
bits.
show, and
Yeah.
they put some stupid Mardi Gras disguise on and come on and play a character from the apocalypse or
Right.
from,
You get to go all
from
out.
another
I mean, if
planet.
you're a creative
Yeah.
weirdo, it's
Yeah.
just,
You're gonna
it's
fit right in on it,
man.
yeah.
like most of my friends are.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So-
definitely got like I feel like a mystery science theater
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of fucking
that's-
feel to it. You
That
know,
has
it's like I
definitely
love that
made its
shit.
way into the show.
Right, yeah.
Because that's got that live cable access. kind
Right,
of
yeah,
feel.
it's got that. It's the guy kind of torturing somebody.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
do your thing. And it's like,
Yeah, that's in there. Morgus is in there.
I don't know. I love it.
You
It's
know,
a great.
we love the live aspect of it. The fact that you don't know what's going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and it's been pretty good. You know, like there haven't been any huge outright disasters.
right.
No, it was. I loved our we
Oh,
sounded
that's what I'm
great
saying.
on
I had a
there,
bunch
like-
of fun.
Yeah.
So much fun on the shit. Like I
Yeah.
said, it
And
just
we're
felt
gonna
like
keep
it was
doing
over
it too, as long as we're
too
still
soon.
having fun.
Yeah. Right.
You know.
But yeah, it was like you're saying, it was an operation. Like, because it cuts between you guys and then the band, but like we get to look out and just see all the shit that's going on to put this thing together. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Well,
everybody's
it didn't
working.
start off like that. You know, it
Right, I'm
started off
sure.
with, like,
Yeah, but no, it's an
It
operation.
started off with
now.
2 cameras.
Yeah.
And I think 2 people running the whole thing, and I was doing sound and hosting the show.
Right.
Just running back and forth madly, you know. And now we've got like
It's a team.
all
It's
of
a
3
well-oiled
people
machine.
Yeah.
It is.
and
though,
9
like-
cameras.
I
So,
know, right? Yeah. It's a lot. It's an operation.
Yeah, it really is something.
I mean, I was a fan of the show before I even got involved in the
Oh yeah, I liked it, but
the
like
COG
being
stuff.
being on it, you appreciate it a lot
Yeah.
more. It's like,
I have-
okay, yeah.
One real regret, the only regret for the entire thing is that I couldn't get more people from outside the area to actually watch it.
Right, yeah.
You know, the word has spread a little bit, and now we're getting like solicitations from bands from at least the broader Gulf Coast,
Yeah.
like even Houston. But as far as getting people from like Seattle or New York or whatever to watch it, I got a quote that I really love. It's somebody, I think from England.
We're gonna get to use this because nobody watches this outside.
The quote, and this is my favorite quote. Y'all from New Orleans are weird.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay,
That's
yeah.
the quote. It's like I'll wear that as a badge of
Yeah,
honor.
that's- yeah.
That's awesome. I'll take it. Sure.
That's the point, man. Fucking come down. Have some fun.
Absolutely. Y'all from New Orleans are weird.
Right, yeah.
You know? Same deal with Morgus.
Yeah, we'll
Same deal
welcome
with a
you.
lot of things.
Right. Yeah, we've thought about shit like that too, like how to get, because we're trying to get bands local, but like shit, maybe talk to bands that are coming through on tour. I'm like, well, you fucking come around, come over here, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
come do a night here.
I wish you luck, man. I like this whole concept. It's pretty clean and simple, and
It's nice and easy. I don't
yeah.
know too much about it. I got to keep it easy.
well,
We're getting better at it, but like, it's very learning curve. You know?
yeah, but I mean, a lot of bands could sympathize and just
Right.
feel right at home.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
so I was
yeah.
going to say, this is like, yeah, man, we're
Yeah, this is a
we're the
nice little practice space.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
You're looking
Really
at the
nice
gear,
little
Oh yeah, I like it, and it's 24 hours, so you can come here and fuck off at 3 a.m. It doesn't
Yep.
matter.
We're usually doing these at about 12 o'clock at night. After band
right
practice.
after band practice. Yeah,
I'd be
There's like
asleep.
nobody
Oh.
else here.
Yeah, this is really lucky.
this is actually kind of rare. Usually,
Yeah.
when it seems like the weeks that we have guests on, it's when literally everybody needs to practice. Everybody that could ever be here is now here.
yeah,
All we hear is low frequency
Yeah,
stuff right now.
that's the other thing too. Is like, it's loud as fuck, but then when it's coming through, it doesn't come. I don't know what
doesn't pick
kind
up as
of
much as
low
you'd
filter pass he's got on it, but like it really doesn't
Probably
pick
just
up.
the walls, you know.
Yeah, we got some blankets up and a lot of shit against the wall. Yeah, and then this is the outside, so there ain't shit over there.
but Well, what do you guys have new for COG that we need to be looking for down the road before we go?
Got the cons.
I have no idea.
I
I don't
guess
know what's going to happen.
We haven't you haven't announced any shows locally, but hopefully.
Well,
something.
no, but that'll come.
Yeah.
We're going to get restless and do a local show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point soon.
Any new music videos?
Ooh, I got to make time.
Right.
I mean, I wanted to do a video for Ultragator, but
Right.
just haven't. Yeah.
Oh, I
have
get
to
it,
slow
yeah.
down and
I
work
get
on
it.
my own stuff because, like, I just finished a cut on a Tomb of Nick Cage video, which was this ultra gothic looking thing that we filmed in his folks' old place,
Nice.
and I mean that came out absolutely great, but. Yeah,
It's time.
Based
Yep,
on
yep.
the Lucio Fulci movie,
yeah,
The
The
Beyond.
Okay.
another great Louisiana horror movie.
Okay. I haven't heard of this. I'll have to check it
You
out.
got to check it out. It's
Yeah.
a really weird movie
I like
from
that kind of
1980.
shit. Okay. I like weird and horror and local. So yeah.
Yeah, we definitely paid tribute to that movie
Nice.
in this video. They did a great job.
Hell yeah.
All right, we're at about an hour and 5 minutes right now, so
Sounds like a
Seems
It was-
like a good time. Yeah.
yeah.
I think everything's kind of winding down anyway.
man, it was great to have you on.
Yes,
Really
thanks for
great.
coming out.
talking to you.
Yeah, nice to
Definitely.
have you
Oh
on.
yes. Yeah.
All right, handshakes right now.
Handshakes, everybody.
Handshakes, handshakes. All right. And, we'll, shout out to COG. Thanks for listening. Talk to you guys later.
Later.
Oh yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. For real though, thanks for coming out.
Yeah,
Thanks for
man.
doing the Pinkerton thing. you
Yeah,
know?
man, my pleasure. It's easy. I don't know why it's easy.
It was fun.